Hi dear, today I want to show you how to knit scarves or baby blankets with non-rolling edge on top and down and on both sides. I will show it on 30 needles on Machine Brother. The first start we cast on by bride casting on. It's the first needle. I sit and let's start casting on. Made the bride by hand on all needles. Cast on till the end of working position needles. And the last needle, the last loop, take on needles. Then insert the yarn into carriage and knit one row. We have the first row all right. Then push needles upside, click this way and take away yarn from carriage and go to another side of knitting. Then made again one bride, take away a little bit, let it be better, and made another bride between the needle bed and the knitting on wrong side from you. Wrong side from you. In this way we made second bride, and then we made third bride also between needle bed and knitting. And till the end of working needles we made the second bride, and the last loop we take on needles. The yarn insert into carriage and knit one row, again, push this button in this position, take away the yarn, push the needles forward, be sure, take another side, and now we little bit forward our knitting and made third bride made here. It will be so easy and fix. We made third bride. And I'm finished now the third bride for the start of scarf or baby blanket, knitting in stockinette, or it's also maybe in lace pattern. Now we put down it knob and insert the yarn into carriage, knit one row. Now I added a cast on comb, add cast on comb, and a little bit weight, a little bit weight. And now it's possible, it's important to add here 2 or 3 needles for I-cord. I-cord, it's a popular and on both sides, from in one side and on another side. 3, 1 per 1, moving 1 per 1 to outside. Now knit 1 row that we made better for machine, and fulfill the needles with previous row stitches yarn, and on other side also. On other side also. There's a little bit mistaking. We have now 33 or 66 needles in work together on machine. And now we start to knit a I-cord. It's made to push this knob in walking position, push forward. First 4 needles and take a yarn down and up to needles. Then knit 1 row. On other side also push forward 4 needles, yarn, take down, up, and on this side take the needles in position D and knit 1 row. Also up, yarn, take inside, up, down, up, position D, knit 1 row, up, down, up, position D, knit 1 row. Also, it's possible to made on electronic machines. Now I show how to prepare a file for automatical knitting machines, and next I show also in what way finished this sharf. And now I prepare a pretend file, and now I show in what way we are knitting the I-cord on both sides automatically. We prepare for needles this a file. Then these needles will staying in working position, and other needles on both sides are staying to position D. And now there it's necessary to out the rosy slits. This is stay on non-working position by Decker. And let's instead the yarn in the carriage, and now we choose the pattern number what we doing. Like you doing, like it's necessary to push KXC button, push on working position. Let the needles read invert positions. Now we choose the number of our pattern what we prepare and put start from first row. And now we knit like an instruction, connect the carriage to timing belt and knit one row. Knit one row, the needles staying in B and D position. In B position, if we push both buttons in B position, the needles are not knitted. On other side, all needles in D position and will be knitted. Push both buttons. All is ready and we can start to knit in automatically made I-cord there on both sides. The needles at the end of row are not knitting, but at start of row will knit. In this way it's very quickly we may knit I-cord for our swirls. It's possible to add some rows for lace knitting, and it's something another way to make this I-cord pattern file. And now it's very easy to knit the stockinette swirls. And now at the end we take away 3 needles what we added at the start for I-cord from one side and from other side, and it's together to knitting. Let not all needles are full from both sides, 3 needles, and move it to all other needles. And now it's the end of sharp. Knit one row, push the needles forwards and take away the yarn from carriage. Move the carriage to other side of knitting. And now we push our needles forward to us and made a braid between the knitting and needle bed on other side of our knitting, between needle bed and knitting. It's a little bit difficulty here. I decide to add a little bit another way. If you have a one bed machine, it's easier to operate from under, from downside. I have double bed machines and it's not so easy to operate with other needle bed in front. And I decide to a little bit change the staying of knitting. There we see the braid where we made the braid between needle bed and our knitting, our swirl or baby blanket. We made 2 braids by 1 knitting row. Here I finished the first bride between needle bed and knitting. Instead the last loop is on last needle, instead the yarn in carriage, and knit one row, and again move the needles forward and a little bit release the knitwear from needle bed. Move the carriage to other side by in working position stay this knob, and again let's made a second bride for the end, for the finishing of our sharf. At start we have 3 brides. Now we made here 2 brides, and the third brides will be cast off. Knit 1 rows after second bride, and now I change the knitting position to nearer needle bed and cast off by stitch catcher, cast off to make a third bride. Third bride is made in this way. And now we finished, and let's see what we have prepared. Now it's easy to show that we have a accurate sides. It's stockinette knitting, and after steaming, let's see what is we prepare. Now a little bit steam in this, not pressing, only input a steam and a little stretching. Let the loops may stay on this natural position. After steaming, the top and down we see is identical, and the sides are not rolling so many like on stockinette knitting, like without I-cord. And here we seeing I stretch a little bit, and it's stay in good condition. Again a little bit steam, and another side also, and our spring sharf we will choose to prepare a scarf on lace knitting or by hand manipulated I-cord. It's a good, or our 3 needles what we add, and there we take away, and it's a good foam, good foam. I hope that it video will be usefully this I-cord, and let you seeing the next my next video on YouTube.